Hello everyone, this is Professor Ma and this is the sections on the calculation with log and exponentials. We're gonna do simple calculation of simple equation, basically linear form of problems that involve log and exponential functions. And since we only involve, most of the cases we only involve two bases, base 10 and base e. So you will need a calculator with like scientific calculator, basically, with which locate where all these buttons at. And all the answers in the PowerPoint will be given up to three significant digits in the answers. Okay, so let's do some problems. For example, on calculator, you should be able to find out what that is. So you should be able to find out the button 10 to the x. And it depends on what's the order. Maybe you want to press 3.32 first, enter, okay. Then press 10 to the x, and then you should get the answers 2.89, 2089 something, okay. And enter e to the, for this one, you need a button e to the x, and you want to enter x to be 1/6. So this is a little tricky. You might want to enter this. So one way to enter is e raised to the power 1/6. If you didn't get the answer correctly, make sure you have a parenthesis. So make sure this is the entire exponent 1/6. You get that. Similarly, locate log, it can execute it, and LA execute that. Okay, so I assume we know you know how to operate all these four buttons. We can now phrase all these problems in an equational form. That is here, finding x, like a puzzle form. Let me rephrase that. Okay, find what x is. Well, for each one of these problems, we need to write it into the other format. So log, we write it into the exponential form in base 10, common log. And ln, we write it in base e. And so we write each individual one in the other form. So this is in exponential form, and those two problems are the ones from previous two problems. Similarly, for C and D, x is going to be the log of 4.35, which is what we did the other two problems. So these are the four problems in the same as previous one, except they are in the form of equations. Now, we're going to have problems that have a little bit more complicated equation that's looking like this that we're going to solve. Okay, and the type of equation we're going to solve basically a linear equation. So let me remind you how we solve linear equation. And basically, what I'm saying, if I have a plus b times some big block of things I want to find what a big block is equal to c. And this is the what I meant by a linear format. I want to solve what a big A is. Okay. And so the way we do it, of course, if you remember, with b times c, whatever these things is, we subtract the a first. First, the subtractions. Then we do the division, divide this by b, and finally we will wind up with the answer is a, whatever this big block is, has to be c take away a, then the whole thing divided by b. So remember this format. So most of our problem will follow this format. Okay. So for example, want to solve for x. So what's the block I'm talking about? The block I'm talking about is where the x belongs to. In this case, it's a x 10 to power of 10 to some power of 2x. So that's the block where x belongs to. So I want to solve for that block first. How? Well, divide. So I want to remind you divide by 7. Okay. And that's it. For the part where we have to solve for that linear part, we have to solve for the block. That one, from here we right into log. Okay, that will bring the exponents. X is in the exponents. That will bring the expression down, and then the other side, instead of a fraction, it's going to be the log of that number. But I'm not going to take the log yet. Then I'm going to push the algebra a little further, divided by 2. And so then I get the this answer, which is basically tells you what you have to carry out to get to the answer. That is what function you have to execute, what number you have to put in there, and what you have to do. You have to put in 25 divided by 7, put into the log, see what that is, then divide the answer by 2. So this is precisely what we have to do, the execution steps. We got these exact answers. And then, of course, we have the calculator, we punch it in, we can carry this out, and we get this approximate answer, up to 3 significant digits. Okay, here's another one. Where is the block that I want to solve, or where's the x at? X is up in exponents again over here, so I want to solve for this block first, just the exponential part. So this basically is a linear functions in an linear exponential function. So I'm going to solve for that blue portion first. Okay. And what do? Subtract 4.1 first, then divide by 2.3. Once I solve for the block, then I can rephrase, since it's a pure exponential expression. So I can write it in this case in natural log. So now we're going to write a natural log and change this equation into a linear equation in x. Okay, that is 2 minus 3x is equal to log of whatever this number is. Don't calculate it out. Just drag it along in algebra. And now I want to solve for x. And so what I did is I like to move minus x becomes positive, move to the other side. So I swap position, the 3x minus 3x to 3x, and then divide by 3. This is the exact answers. Okay, and then that's the approximate answer. Now, if things are instead of exponentials, e to some x power, how about log to something in x? Same thing. We isolate that part first. This one, which part? This part. The log of the x star. Solve for that portion first. That's 9 times it, so divided by 9. Okay, that's 9. And once we solve that log, pure log expression, then we can rephrase into exponential versions. So in this case, it becomes a linear equation. Again, that all these are again also linear types. Okay, and I want to solve for x, so subtract the 1 divided by 2. So this is the exact answers. Then I can use my calculator, punch it in, and figure out what it is. And similarly, these 2 steps, I want to solve for this block with the log of something x, just the log, pure log expression first, just for that log expressions. Okay. Now we move the 4.1 again, move to the other side, subtract that first and divide by 2.3. Now we're going to drop the log, which means raise power on the other side, base in 10. And again, I mean, I don't want minus 3x. I switch this, becomes to the right hand side, become positive 3x, and then divide by the coefficient 3, and I get the answers. Okay, so do the homeworks, and yeah, just involves moving things around. Just make sure you move things in right orders, and then at the last step, punching the exact answer and extract the approximate answer. Okay, bye bye. Adios. Bye bye.